Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, so we're still in the week before E3. E3 is supposed to begin technically tomorrow because there's going to be conferences and stuff all throughout the weekend, but it technically starts on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, what have you. But still, like every year, the week before E3, at first couple weeks before E3, actually, there's always games that do end up getting announced before E3 for whatever reason. So I got two in particular I want to talk about. It's going to be a relatively short video. I just want to make a point about something and give my thoughts on these. So the first game I'm talking about it just got announced today, and it's a new Dragon Ball fighting game. Now, if you know me, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. I love Dragon Ball, the entire series: Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. I love the series. It's my favorite anime, one of my favorite franchises of all time. And when it comes to the Dragon Ball fighting games, or well, video games in general, I'm very picky with them. Not overly picky. I'm just like, I like the Budokai games. I like the Budokai Tenkaichis. I like the Raging Blast. I didn't like the games that came out over the past couple years. So like Ultimate Tenkaichi did not care for. Battle of Z did not care for. Dragon Ball Z Connect did not care for. Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. I do own Xenoverse 1. I never picked up Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse was a good game. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for in a Dragon Ball Z game. So obviously when it comes to fighting games, the last really good one in my opinion was Raging Blast 2. So I'm looking for something more along that or along a Budokai line. Well, there was Extreme Butoden on 3DS as well. But as far as console games, Raging Blast 2 was the last really good one for me. So I'm looking for something like that. So they announced a new Dragon Ball Z fighting game, and it's for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's being made by the same team that does the Guilty Gear and BlazBlue series. I've never played Guilty Gear. I have played BlazBlue, and I do not care for it. So I don't know. It's called Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is a really generic name. I don't know why they're going with that. But the press release is dated for June 12th, so it's probably going to be announced sometime during E3. A lot of people are speculating it's going to be during Sony's conference, which I could see that, even though it's not an exclusive. But still, I could see that. It's going to be a 2.5D. They said it's going to be it's going to have more like, it's going to be 3D models that are animated, sort of like 2D models or something. I don't know, but I'm excited, but I have to see more. One thing I did like is they said it's going to have 3-on-3 battles, kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. So I got to see more, though. That's how it's been the past few years of Dragon Ball Z games. I always got to see more before I can really, put my money down. The big thing for me is local multiplayer. I have a couple friends I love playing Dragon Ball games with, and if there's no local multiplayer, like Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z was like that, where there was only online and offline single player. There was no local multiplayer. And if there's no local multiplayer, that's right there is a deal breaker for me. I grew up playing Dragon Ball Z games, starting with Budokai 1, and I always played those local multiplayer with friends and other people. So it's just something that I want. I want local multiplayer. I want to see a really good battle system that isn't a clone of Guilty Gear or BlazBlue. I want to see more of it. I'm excited for it. The main thing that really irks me, though, it's PS4, Xbox One, and PC. There is absolutely no reason why there can't be a Switch version. Like, why? Like, why is there not a Switch version? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not going to dismiss the game over it, because if the game looks good, yeah, I'll definitely get it for my PS4. But why is there not a Switch version? It's multi-platform, and you're not making, especially for a fighting game, if it is going to have local multiplayer, which I hope, that'd be perfect for the Switch. There's enough anime fans on Nintendo platforms as well that would love a Dragon Ball game, and there'd still be enough on the PS4. I guarantee you it'd probably sell more on the Switch than it would the Xbox One. I mean, I'm pretty sure it would if it was on the Switch. And what blows my mind is they have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, a port of it, coming out at the end of this year, like sometime in the fall, for Switch. And then they're unleashing this game for other consoles in the spring of next year. So literally, you're already releasing a game from last year, a year later on the Switch, and then you're releasing a new game to succeed that, on other systems in just a couple months after that, no one's going to buy Xenoverse 2 on Switch, and then you're going to have Namco complaining that, oh, well, the Dragon Ball games don't sell on Switch, so we're not going to make any more. It's like you're setting it up to fail. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. They should just skip Xenoverse 2 in general, in my opinion, after announcing this, and release a Switch version alongside the other ones. If they'd wait and release a version way later, again, people have already bought it on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So, again, it's like setting up to fail. It's the same thing they did with the Wii U. These third-party developers, they like to port games that are like several months old to the Nintendo systems, and when they don't sell because people already played them on their other platforms, these developers are like, well, our games don't sell, so we're going to pull out from the system. And that makes no sense. Like, you're expecting people to double dip. Or you're expecting people who... There's people who like certain things on different consoles. There might be fans that necessarily don't want that on Nintendo. There might be fans that don't want it on PlayStation. You know, so it's like you're really... It doesn't make any sense. When you're going through when you're having a big multi-platform game like this, it should be on all the systems. So the Switch version might take a slight frame rate cut, or it might, you know, go down to 720p or something. Who cares? As long as you put a working version out there on the Switch, people are still gonna buy it. I guarantee you. But if you wait and release it later, or if you release a previous game several months before this, it's just the same. The game's gonna fail on Switch, and then the Switch's support with the Western third parties. And some Japanese, because I mean Namco Bandai is Japanese, but still with a lot of big name third parties is going to die because of that, because they're setting themselves up to fail. It doesn't make any sense. Kind of like this game. Now this game I want to talk about a couple days ago. This is the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. This was announced back on June 5th, so about 4 days ago. No announced plans for Switch or 3DS versions. Why? Like, that doesn't make any sense, because the first one was on Nintendo platforms. They even had they have a physical special edition for the 3DS that had a gold Mega Man amiibo. Amiibo, which is Nintendo's line of NFC compatible figures. And that's what I mean. It has something exclusive to it, and now you make a second version and no Nintendo version in sight. It doesn't make any sense. The game is more than capable of running on Switch and 3DS. I don't understand. Now, some people might argue and say, oh, well, Mega Man 7 and 8, you know, they came out on PlayStation, blah, blah. Yeah, well, that's a moot point, because at the end of the day, Mega Man 9 and 10 were on the Wii. Mega Man 7 and 8 were on the Anniversary Collection back in the day, which was on GameCube. And Mega Man in general started on the NES. It grew on the NES. So the fact that we have the first collection of Nintendo systems and the second one not on Nintendo systems, it's just ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. PC, PS4, and Xbox One, yet again. $20 digital and retail. You know, even if they wanted to just make a digital version for Switch, okay, fine. But the game needs to be on Switch or 3DS. It needs to be somewhere on Nintendo systems, because again, Mega Man started out on Nintendo systems. That's what he's most famous for. He just is. No plans for versions on Nintendo platforms at this time, Capcom told IGN. And again, at this time. So maybe a year later or 6 months later, they'll release a version of it on the Switch. But by that time, everyone will have bought it on PS4 or Xbox One or PC. And the sales are going to be crap. And Capcom's going to be like, well, our games don't sell. And it's just weird, because Capcom talks about, they're so hit or miss. They're back and forth. They put out also Street Fighter 2. And they say, okay, we're going to use this game to judge the sales and see if we're going to support Switch. And also Street Fighter 2 has been doing pretty well. Then, before even waiting for the complete sales for that game, they revealed Monster Hunter Double Cross for the Switch over in Japan, which went over huge. And now they're going back and not releasing the sequel to the Mega Man Legacy Collection on the Switch. It makes no sense to me. And like I said, when third parties do this, it just, you're dividing the fans even more. So if you wait and release this later on, people aren't going to buy it. They already waited too long, and they bought it on PS4 and Xbox One. So, and again, people say it's Nintendo's fault. They don't have third parties, blah, blah, blah. The third parties need to do more effort. They just have to. This is unacceptable. Like, I don't understand. There's no reason we can't get Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 day one, whether it's retail or digital, on Switch or 3DS or both, and there's no reason we can't get a Switch version of Dragon Ball FighterZ. There really is no reason to not have either of these games on Switch. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, I'm not really interested in that. I'm not going to get it. If they make a Switch version, I might buy it, some point down the road to support it. I'll vote. I always try to vote with my dollars. I support games when I want to support them, but I'm not supporting it on the other systems because, again, I bought the special edition on 3DS, and yeah, I feel kind of left out in that aspect. As a Nintendo fan, I want something that started in Nintendo that's synonymous with the NES to be on Nintendo platform. That's what I want. Dragon Ball FighterZ, I'll be fine with it on PS4. I'm just saying, from a business standpoint, there's no reason why it can't be on Switch. So that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Post some comments, and as always, I will catch you guys later.